I am a professor at the Seneca College of Applied Arts and Technology in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I work in the School of Environmental and Civil Engineering Technology, famous as CSET. The main course I teach is Municipal Technology, which is about design of municipal infrastructure, usually in residential subdivisions. It includes design of the storm system. My overall experience is about 30 years in engineering field, but I would say like half of that or more than half of that is on the drainage systems and the stormwater management systems. Well, Seneca College is in the academic sector, so we don't have any project at this time to work on that. However, we are always open to partnership with the industry and do research and any other type of activities on the impact of flooding on the homes or private properties. I give you an example that right now I'm working with the Township of King, one of the municipalities in York Region, to study on the flooding upstream of a set of culverts and the impact on the upstream houses or properties. In that project, the problem is that culverts has certain size and capacity, and then the land is used upstream of the culverts, has some changes on it, more development is happening on those lands, therefore more impermeable areas and more flooding is happening, and then the capacity is not enough to pass it through, so some water backs up and accumulates upstream of the culverts, then the houses around that flooding areas will get impacted, and I will have some pictures to show you after about the problem. It's a serious issue over there. Well, I like my students to learn and to know how to approach with the flooding issue. So number one, they should know a component of a storm system, how the storm system should work, how it should manage the storm water. And after that, they should know the reason why flooding happens. And I usually tell them that there are two main reasons for that. One is the climate change and the amount of rainfall we may have, because the storm system has a certain capacity, can handle certain amount of flow. Anything more than that would be a problem. And the other thing is that other than the climate change, sometimes the storm system may not properly work, may have improper design or construction or even operation maintenance, then it could be another reason for flooding. After they know these things, they should know how to do the preventive measures to control the flooding in future, so they should learn about that as well. And the extract of all those things can become in the form of public awareness that students can pass to the public in future at their workplace. And the core of that message is maximizing the infiltration through maximizing the landscape size of the properties and minimizing the overland flow. I would like to say a couple of things about that. One of the things, or number one, is that climate change. The human activities has some influence on the environment, and the climate change causes more rainfalls, more rainfall events happen, and so on. So it causes flooding. That's one of the hurdles. We should deal around that. And the other thing is the public awareness, and sometimes they don't follow whatever correct actions they should do, and that will be another thing. And the third one I like to mention is that we do have good standards and regulations and everything on the municipal side, but on the private side, for the homeowners and so on, we may not have enough procedures and standards or instructions for them what to do, what not to do, and so on. So these are the problems, we should work on them. I always think that the basis of anything is getting educated about that thing. You want to be a driver, you want to be anything, you need to learn about that, you need to get trained and get educated about that. So the private sector, different people have different type of works, different expertise and so on. Not most of them, I would say not majority of them know enough about the stormwater management system and flooding control and so on. That's why it's super important for our students, our future graduates, and our current inspectors with lots of experience and so on, to work on this and pass the message to the homeowners or private property owners. Yeah, my students should know that flooding may happen, as I mentioned before, because of too much rainfall or improper working of the storm system. And what I like to add to my previous answer on this question is that the students should know more about the emergency preparedness protocols that municipalities have in place currently. And the core of that job is about, in case of emergency, in case of flooding, what are municipalities supposed to do? And part of the job is changing the priorities of the tasks they have. The other part is getting help from the neighboring municipalities and other things that is not part of my course, is not part of the training at the college level. Hopefully sometimes in future we may have such courses, but they can learn it after through municipalities' activities. I look at this like a package, what the government is supposed to do, what the insurance firm, inspectors, etc. are supposed to do. Overall, for the public awareness, we should have leveraging media to provide information to the public in simple ways. We should have pilot projects to show the impact of flooding to people. Municipalities have good projects or activities on the conservation of water. I know about the municipality of York region. They have a program called Water for Tomorrow, and they are working on different things about the water. For example, they encourage the public to have barrels to accumulate the rainwater in the barrel and then use it for irrigation of their landscape. So that could be another good thing. We should have standards or standard operating procedures, famous as SOPs in the municipalities, to show the homeowners what they are supposed to do, and this can be done through the partnership between academic and industry parts. Also, we may have training of all these things to the inspectors and the students and whoever involved with that. I do believe that we are doing well in Canada. On the municipal side especially, we have good standards, good procedures in order to have a proper design, construction, operation, maintenance, etc. And climate change is something comes from the mother nature, so we should deal around that. Other countries have flooding issues as well. Everybody knows about that. What we should do about that is reviewing the conditions and situations that cause flooding here and there in the whole world, and learning the results of what they did aftermath. So whatever they did, if it worked well, we can incorporate it into our activities in Canada. Whatever they did that it did not work well, we should forget about that, basically. So as I said before, we are good on the standards and design, construction, maintenance. I believe our tax money should go more for the climate control. The activities we have and the pollution and all those things happens on the environment that causes the climate change. Those things can be controlled. So part of the money should go there, and the other part should go for the public awareness, for the people awareness, to let them know what to do on the private side. If we do well on the private side and we know that we are doing well on the municipal side, then the package will be complete. As I mentioned before, maximizing the infiltration, minimizing the overland flow is the main thing they can do. But what does that mean? We can have several examples around that. They can really have more lawn and grass and trees and shrubs in their backyard, etc. Some people go for the driveway widening to have better capacity for their cars to park, etc. But they may not be aware of having more impermeable areas by concrete, asphalt, etc. causes more overland flow. And I have heard from so many people, my driveway is only X number of meters, I'm adding just 1.5 meters. It's not a big deal, it's very minor. But they should know that that amount of surface multiplied by hundreds of thousands of homes in GTA, for example, how much of extra water may flow over land and causes flooding and so on. So those are the things they should be aware of. And I would like to say like this: if the homeowners do well on their side, on the private side, the better they do their job, the longer the age of the municipal infrastructure on the municipal side, and the better performance of the storm system on the municipal side. That could be like a slogan or final say to the municipal side and onto the private side. Yeah, I have one of my former colleagues, his house is next to a creek, so the creek backup caused flooding in his basement, and what he did was waterproofing his basement. Also, he checked and fixed the whipping tile or foundation drainage system around his house to make sure that this flooding is controlled and checked. Yeah, that's interesting that this gentleman, this friend or former colleague I mentioned, is a smart man, and he is considering some budget for his house maintenance every year. So in future, he will ensure that everything is under control, and that budget may go to maintenance of different things other than the storm system and flooding system as well. But on the flooding system, he says that I will do the camera inspection and checking of the drainage system around the foundation of my house, because one of the problems he had faced before was calcification of the drainage pipe because of direct connection to the storm system. So he wants to make sure when it is too much accumulated, clean it up or fix it and so on. And he says that, that's interesting to me, as a member of public, he knows that much. He says that I do like to do some sort of asset management at my home, similar to the asset management the municipalities do at the town level or the city level. That's very interesting to me. No, he doesn't get nervous, but he's always cautious about rainfalls and the potential flooding may happen. He's cautious. I think the home inspectors or whoever in charge of flooding control should pass the message to the public in simple words. That's what I do in my classes all the time. Use simple words to make it understandable. And the simple words should be around, number one, understand the difference between municipal side and private side. Some responsibilities are on the municipal shoulder to look after everything on the storm system, but some is on the homeowner's shoulder. So they should be aware of that, and they should be aware of the difference between these two types of properties. The other thing is that the public should know why the flooding happens. They should know that any storm system has a certain capacity, and that capacity has been calculated or estimated based on the certain amount of rainfall history we have had in the past. But with the climate change and more rainfall events, it may change. Also, they should know that the municipalities are doing well on their side, and what we have in the school is encouraging our students to meet and exceed the standards because of all those things, to make sure that we are on the safe side in case of flooding. And as I said before, if the homeowners do well on their side, the municipalities are doing well on their side as well, and then the whole package will be complete, and we will be well protected against the flooding.